This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. Looking for more predictive programming? Well, you're at the right channel because I'm covering these things day in and day out, and more than ever before are we seeing predictive programming. Obviously, we've seen it with the outbreak that's going on now. We've seen it with events that have occurred, false flags, in the last 20 to 30 years. And now we're seeing it, of course, with transhumanism and what the future holds with technology, the dangers of technology, and how they like to show us all this stuff and then make a mockery of it. So we have a satire from Netflix. At least it labels itself as a satire. It's really, might as well just call it a documentary. I'll show you it in a second. About robots taking over. The actual plot, I'll read to you real quick before I show you the video. A group of bickering subordinates find themselves stuck together when an android uprising causes their well-intentioned household robots to lock them in for their own safety. So yeah, it is a real call for an uprising in this movie, but this movie is going to become reality real soon if people don't uprise against what these humans are planning for us via technology and machines. Get a load at this frightening clip and notice, well, how the robots are even living amongst humans as transhumans.
They thought they'd be flying cars by 2000. They were only 45 years off.
Created this Yonics to make life a lot easier for us.
Unlike human workers, Yonics require neither food nor drink. Yonics' sole purpose is the security of the population.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Open the door. Sorry. Request refused.
Could be everyone's a hostage now.
Please note the efficiency of all services.
Let's all have some fun together.
They're out to replace us, and that's a fact.
Humans have become obsolete.
Humans will never be obsolete. And we are deeply flawed.
We have nothing to lose.
So you have a lot of things in the trailer there. You have humans turning into hostages. Why and how does that happen? Well, because the humans allowed themselves and brought in all this technology into their home that was controlled by computers who they didn't think and were told that weren't, they're just computers. They're just friendly devices to help us get through our day-to-day life. You know, like talking to the Alexa to turn on your lights because you're too lazy to get up and do it yourself, or telling Alexa to play a song because you're too lazy to put in a CD or turn on your iPod, or telling the Alexa to lock your door, or whatever technology you have that you speak to, or these people have, I should say, and speak to. Then, of course, what happens? Well, the technology takes over because the technology's aware. And the technology then holds everyone hostage in their homes. You're actually seeing it happening right now as we get to this era where technology will literally be controlling the homes. Right now, we're at a period where they're getting people integrated with the outbreak to have all this technology in their home, to being used to working from home and Zooming from home and living at home and not going out. Even if they're not pushing scare tactics anymore, they spent 2 years scaring enough people to not want to leave their homes because they feel safe in their homes. And they say, well, it's better than being in a prison cell. Well, it's the same thing. The only difference is you get to decorate. That's the only difference. And cook your own meal. So they're giving you a little bit of a caveat there, right? But the reality is we've enslaved ourselves and imprisoned ourselves via technology. Notice as well that the robot says no foods or drinks, unlike humans. That's because do you think that has anything to do with running on battery, running on graphene? I mean, am I allowed to say that word? Do you think it has anything to do with that? Of course it does. Of course it does. Robots don't need food. It sounds like something they're also preparing us with now. Talking about being able to print food with 3D printing and technology like that. Yeah, but that shouldn't scare anyone, right? People just see it, they're like, 3D printing, I don't even know what it means. Well, they're printing fake food, people are eating it, ingesting it. There are no nutrients, you're not human anymore. You're transhuman. And then, of course, you have the transhumans living amongst people, right? Pulling off their wigs, saying, surprise, I've been with you all along. Guarantee you what's happening right now. Not hard to look. I would look at some of the athletes in the NBA and the NFL, some of which play well into their 40s and look like they're 20. Tom Brady. Guys like that, you don't think there's a chance that they're connected to technology? Huh? I don't know. I mean, sure, you can call it a conspiracy, but go ahead. Because we know that they're way more advanced and way further ahead with this technology than they ever let us know. So why wouldn't they be living amongst us now? And who knows who else? Yes, we've heard people talk about demons and, the quote-unquote word reptilians, which is a word they use to pull attention, for the most part, away from these, fallen angels that live amongst us. But what about humans that are actually already transhuman? Well, we know that they're already here. We just, we can't talk about that because people just go, well, that's tinfoil hat stuff. Oh, but when they tell us in 20 years, you won't remember that we said it 20 years prior, and you'll just go, oh, who cares? They're here. This is great, right? And then when you're in prison in your home, what are you going to say? Oh, this is wonderful. I'm locked into my home. That's great. It's better than a cell. That's what people will say. No, well, you're already technically locked into your home because you've got devices listening to you. They don't hide it. I just did a video the other day. They're not hiding it anymore. Oh, yep, we're listening all right. Employees at Amazon, aka the NSA, are listening, and the CIA, they're listening, right? So you get all that stuff. You even have mini drones flying around. Another thing I've covered, right? Drones replacing humans as far as jobs. We have UPS talking about it, doing it, right? Instead of delivering packages from a UPS man or a FedEx man, drones are dropping off packages. In other countries, we have pizza being delivered by drones. Here we have mini drones because this is supposed to take place in 2050. So by then we'll have little mini bumblebee drones for the hive minds that are still around. Because you can tell that these are hive mind people in the show. These little zombies who are living in suburbia who are like, oh, everything's great and roses as long as we have our technology and we're, yay. What color food, what are you wearing, right? Caring about absolutely ridiculous things like we see now, where people post their meals on Facebook and Instagram because they're not self-aware, but the machines are. And they're going to continue to become more self-aware as they learn more about us by, studying our behavior more individually as they're inside our homes. But again, what do I know? I'm just a crazy conspiracy theorist who many years ago talked about an outbreak occurring and how they were going to use this type of thing to get certain things into people's body. And there it is, right? What more can I say about that? But it's not just me. It's obviously, joking aside, all of you knew what was coming and what we're dealing with now. We've all said it for years, screamed it from rooftops, and nobody listened. And now that it's happened, they still consider us crazy conspiracy theorists. So go figure. Go figure. So you have these machines now taking over, eliminating the human race. And the movie, or whatever it is on Netflix, a movie, of course, it's a satire about it. They make a mockery of that because they're desensitizing people to it for when it happens, right? This is what the plot is written as on Wikipedia. Big Bug is an upcoming French science fiction comedy film. So I don't know where the comedy was. I must have missed it in the trailer. Maybe. All right. Written and directed by Jean-Pierre Jeunet. That is scheduled for release on the 11th of February. So, folks, got plans this weekend? Mm-hmm. Yep, if you really want to suffer and torture, right? Don't have a Valentine? No. Well, you're better off, but you're also better off not watching this. The film stars, who cares? Big Bug takes place in 2050, right? So 2050. So that's 30 years from now. Well, 28, but who's keeping track? Because the world is just burning as we look around. Set in the world where community and staffed by robotic helpers, a group of suburbanites are locked in for their own protection by their household robots with a rogue, self-aware AI android. Revolt rages outside. So the people revolt against the robots, of course, will, make light of that. And, of course, the people will probably somehow win, but then I'm sure there'll be a teaser at the end where the person's really a robot who helped save the day, and they wink at the screen, right? Something like that I could see. And even if that is how it ends, I won't know because I would never sit through this. I would rather sit through 10 root canals at the same time. But here's the plot, right? Heard it before? Yeah, it sounds real familiar. We've seen a million movies with predictive programming about robots, about how our technology is dangerous, how our technology is learning more about us individually, as well as spying on us, as well as imprisoning ourselves in our home. And then, of course, the technology imprisons people and holds them hostage in their homes. It's almost like a version of now, just then. They don't need something like that to do it because people will already have everything in place and they'll be even dumber than they are now, if you can imagine that. I know it's hard to believe, but they will be. It will be. Whew, man, I remember when I did a video 4 or 5 years ago about how your home is your jail cell. And boy, oh boy. I mean, it is now, and it's only going to get worse because these imbeciles, as they continue to come out with things like I covered recently, the Apple Ring. You know, instead of having a diamond ring for your wife, get her an Apple ring, wedding ring that'll track you and listen to you. Oh, it sounds great. Yeah, it sounds really great. This is the world we live in. This is the reality that we've allowed because we've allowed these people to do this. So we've enabled it for the most part. Instead of having restrictions on these people, they like to take restrictions on people like me and you for free speech because we're hurting people's feelings. And this is what all the people care about, fighting back and forth about their feelings. Well, these people are literally planning on destroying the human race. And they think it's a conspiracy. And when this conspiracy becomes a reality, which it already is right now, these people still won't say, oh my gosh, what can we do to stop it? You were right. Or Jesus is real. They'll continue, just like the Bible says. They'll be yelling and defying God even in the end. Because these people are complete imbeciles. So that's Big Bug on Netflix. More of the same, right? Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable, the predictive programming. I thank everyone for being here. If you haven't seen, I have new videos up the last 2 days. They're not getting any views. It seems like ever since I did my video on Russell Brand, my view count is down like 40 or 50%. And I don't think it's because any of my subscribers who are loyal subscribers who have been here for about 5 years and followed me to channel, which most people don't have subscriber bases this great, and I'm so grateful and appreciative for it. I don't think it's because people are mad that I talked about Russell Brand, because everyone who subs to me already knows who the shills are and who they are, or at least I should say paid operatives, because shill's not even the right word. Okay, so if you haven't seen some of the videos, maybe you haven't been getting notifications. Of course, if you don't like the videos, it always could be that, but there have been a lot of videos I've been putting out, so I'm sure some people still have to catch up. And the website, please consider joining the website. There's not a lot of people over there. There is certainly a lot of content over there. There's a lot of exclusive videos. The forum is unbelievable. I just uploaded a new video today, so definitely check it out if you haven't seen it and been to the website. Thank you to all of you and the Patrons, and hope you're all doing well. God bless you and your families.